3 balls of coloured wool yarn were sitting on the couch. Mrs. Houžvičková had been knitting mittens and scarves the night before. Being a curious cat, Ticken jumped onto the couch to investigate. One ball of wool was bright yellow, another pine tree green, and the last was fire engine red. The brilliant colours and the ball shape were too much for Ticken to resist. He knocked them down onto the carpet and rolled them outside. Hampus, who had been watching Ticken from his mouse hole, ran outside after the cat to see what the cat was going to do with the wool. Ticken grabbed hold of the balls of wool and ran around the back garden with them, hitting them with his paw. They started to unravel. The red wool was wrapped around the thistles, the wooden gate and the oak tree. The yellow ball was soon tangled around the wheelbarrow, the spade lying in the vegetable garden, and around the washing line. The green ball went all the way around the house, wrapping itself tightly against the stone bricks. Hampus started to giggle. Ticken didn't notice that some of the wool was stuck to his tail. This would be a great time for Hampus to grab a bite of cheese, and perhaps some biscuits filled with raisins. He ran into the kitchen and bit off a hunk of cheddar cheese, and then picked up 2 biscuits. He took them outside. Ticken, who was still busy chasing the shrinking balls of wool around, spotted Hampus, the mouse, and headed for him. Hampus watched, unafraid, as the cat ran toward him. He'd only gone a few steps when he tripped on the yellow wool. The spade came flying towards him and hit him in the head. Ouch! He stood up and ran towards Hampus again. A few steps later he tripped on the red wool and fell in a pile of prickly purple thistles. Ouch! Hampus laughed and quickly devoured his orange cheese. After Ticken had pulled all the stickers out of his fur, he looked at Hampus and was very angry. Even though he tripped because of the wool, he didn't like Hampus laughing at him. He ran towards the mouse, his claws out and ready to grab Hampus. But he tripped again on the green wool that was around the house. He flew through the air and landed in a pile of overripe tomatoes growing in the garden. They smashed all over his fur, dripped off his nose and got in his ears. He lay still, covered in red mush. Hampus ran over to him and stood right next to him, eating his biscuits. He let the crumbs drop onto Ticken's head. The cat meowed but couldn't move. Hampus ran back into the house to get some more cheese. It took Ticken all afternoon to get the wool untangled. Mrs. Houžvičková wasn't very happy when she came home and saw what Ticken had done. Hampus stood at the kitchen window, watching the cat and laughing. He just loved to see Ticken get into trouble.